Hey y'all. Y'all, I'm 15 minutes late. Oh my gosh. I was having, well, let me be honest, y'all. I was literally watching Martin's video. Like, I have not had time to watch Martin's video. So I had to watch Martin's video. Then I was like trying to get some of my laundry cleaned up. And then I tried to click the dang on live button and it was giving me technical difficulties. But I'm here nonetheless. And this is my first time where I've actually, y'all, look at my muscles. But this is my first time where I actually took notes. Let me turn my volume thing down. But yeah, so I took notes throughout the video so I can make sure I didn't miss any points because I hate when I'm like, I have so many thoughts in my head. Y'all know Martin's videos are long as crap. So sometimes I have so many thoughts and then I lose it. And, I just harp over one thing or 2 points or 3 points. But I wanted to make sure I got everything. So, y'all, we are good. And if y'all are here and y'all are a part of my close friends, then hey to y'all, because y'all already know we uncovered something crazy today. And it was a time, y'all, but I'm good. I'm good now, y'all, from what y'all saw. And some people were messaging me asking me like if we were gonna accept any people new into the close friends, and I just haven't decided yet. We kind of think like maybe for like sporadic trips or events, then we'll let everybody be in. But like for like the everyday thing, I don't want the circle to be too big because then it gets kind of crazy. But let me get my little hey. So hey, Simply Paulette, you were the first one. Say hope everybody had a good week. I had a great week, a very busy, productive week, y'all. We're making progress with the house. So I've had a great week. Janice, girl, you said hey and you're gonna be back in 30 minutes. Oh, maybe because she knew I was running behind. CC Live, Sherry, um, congrats on new house. Thank you, Who Kim, Brown Sugar. Hey girl. Carinia, Nicole, Yoshika, Frederick. What's up, Frederick? OC girl. Hey girl. Good evening. Hey, Sherry. Oh, she said she from Fayetteville. But y'all, I know y'all don't want to just hear me saying hello. So I'm gonna give a warm welcome to everybody because y'all know I'm already behind. But did I post the link? I don't even post the link on my story. Dang, y'all, let me post a link on my story. What was I thinking? Let me see. Because this feedback that I got right now for this live, where is it? I can't even see it from my dang on phone. Maybe I go to my YouTube and I'll see it. I've been on YouTube all these years and still be having difficulty figuring. Oh, there you go. I'm on live right now. There I go. Okay, now let me copy this link and share it. Share, copy link. Y'all make sure y'all thumbs up my live. Why am I seeing all these people on my live and not all these thumbs up? Y'all better thumbs up. Oh, my makeup artist confirmed. Thank you. See you tomorrow. Y'all, I'm so last minute. Y'all, I was gonna be going to my own event looking like who did it and why. Y'all saw that raggedy bun? That thing was ooh. But thank God Q came through and found me somebody. Okay, I'm live. I had to post this, y'all, because I don't want people to miss. I know people be loving to see, the action in action. Even though I F with the people who come back and watch the replay. I love y'all too. I'm live. There we go. But yeah, so no, I have not moved into the new house, Sherry. My contractor was MIA girl for some weeks. And we had a ish show going on. But yeah, so I have some other contractors who are in my mom's husband. Who would have thought he had family who's in the contracting business? So they came in, they've been working all week. Now the old contractor, he coming back. He said he gonna be back on Monday. He said he was sick, so we're gonna see. But if he gonna come back, but either way go, we already got people in there. But yeah, Bliss Hiley, hey girl, you in the building? I hope everybody else watched the video, or y'all gonna be lost because I didn't even know the video even came out. Like someone had DM me, I was looking for something else, and I checked my DMs, and someone sent me a DM talking about the video. And I was like, oh my gosh, y'all already know Martin takes a million generations to post the videos. You got to get the receipts on the receipts on the receipts on the receipts. So I finally had some time today to watch it. Did you and the contractor sign a contract? You talking about the old contractor or the current contractor? If it's the old contractor, for sure. Do I think he's gonna come back? For sure. I know for a fact he took another job, because sometimes, like when I've called him over these last few weeks, he's been working. I can hear him like drilling into holes and walls and all this other stuff. So, but like I said, I'm not really too worried or concerned or anything about it, because we still have a whole house or basement, patio. There's still work to be done. So why not have all these people in? And yeah, so hey Chandler, hey girl. It was on the other day. What happened with the caramel popping? If you was in the close friends, you would have been seeing what had happened. And another thing I gotta say, I F with y'all for real. I gotta go back and find the person who gave me some tea that I needed to know about my dumpster, because y'all would never believe what the freak went down. But I can't even tell y'all, because then it's gonna be giving my close friends, they're gonna be like, girl, how you gonna spill the close friend tea? So you gotta be a close friend to get that tea. But it was some crazy stuff going on these last few 48 hours. Let's just say that. But it is the dust has settled and we are good. So I came in, y'all. Better go subscribe to that close friends. I know for a fact your home is going to be beautiful. Thank you. I cannot wait until we get in there. I know the girls cannot wait. My nerves bad though, because being in an apartment, like it's a smaller space, so you don't have too much to worry about. When we were living in the house, I used to have I was spooked out, y'all. I'd be like, dang, do I hear a noise? Like, I used to be so OCD. I'd be looking at the camera all day long. Like, I'd be hiding out in my own house. Like, I was really, really scared, especially when it got night. I'm like, dang. So I know it's probably going to get back to that. But we already got cameras and stuff installed. But do you plan on having any more little ones? Everybody always asking me that. I'm actually content with my 3 that I have. One, little ones are not as beautiful and amazing as the girls are. They're expensive, and I want to be able to afford the lavish things for my kids. Like, they both in cheer, and y'all, we are getting swept through the water with these cheer fees already. I'm like, dang, we about to we making sure we get through these fundraisers. But let me see. But yeah, so I wouldn't mind having another one, but I think right now I'm into my body, I'm into my health. We trying to get into the house. We got other endeavors we got going on. So maybe along the line. Do you know the country Suriname? Huh? What's that? Do you know the country Suriname? No, I don't know that. Your daughters are beautiful. Thank you so much. Keesha, I tried to message you 2 days ago. Just wanted to talk to you. You're my Sherry. One, I have not been checking my DMs. I'm not gonna lie to you. Like, I only opened up my DMs the other day because I had to find something, and obviously God needed to lead me into a DM that I needed to know about my dumpster. But I get so many DMs, but I'm gonna go through. I told myself, but give me until Monday, because I have my event tomorrow, and me and Jayla have been working our butts off. I'm so excited for this. Hey, B. You need a boy. Oh, it says I'm from Suriname. No, I never heard of that. Where is that? I gotta go back up in the comments. What you talking about? D, she can't tell him what to do. Where was the first comment? I done missed it. I done missed the comment. I be getting a lot of comments. Okay, hey, good night. Love from Barbados. You should visit. I do want to visit. After we came from Antigua, I was like, I for sure want to visit. But y'all, so who watched the last video? because you know we got to get into. Meanwhile, she can ask. He can what? Meanwhile, she asked, "Can Keesha tell Martin to stop?" I have. Have you chosen most of your furniture for the forever home? No. That's why I was telling Jeremy. I was like, we gonna move in our stuff, gonna be on the floor. But I have looked at the office in the front room, and we have looked at the dining room. Um, you just had to anyway. It don't matter now. Not with my baby. Y'all, this man over here making some Kool-Aid. I told him not to make no Kool-Aid. But are you thinking about having? Why? Somebody else just asked me about this kid. Why y'all want me to have a kid? You better take that away from me right now. How can I sign up to be a moderator? I'm in Close Friends, and I'm in the club thing on YouTube. You want to sign up? I can add you as a moderator. Just text my phone. I'll remember, or DM me. It's in South America, and we speak Dutch. Wow. No, I never. No, that is really interesting. Are we still able to join Close Friends? I mean, I've let a few people in, but it's kind of like once I see your at and I kind of know what's up, but I'm not just letting everybody, like how we was on a trip, like I was just letting whoever it was in it because it started to be overwhelming. It says Keesha, let's see if you tell one not to do another thing. No, I can't ask I can't ask nobody to stop doing that. I can't ask that. I think I'm pretty sure it should be almost done. To my now, I mean I hope so. Keisha rebukes that new baby. Yeah, for sure. How long have you been on? I've only been on for like 11 minutes. No new friends. Yeah, because I've been loving the Close Friends. B, why do you think it's dark times? I mean, I don't really get dark vibes or dark times myself personally. Like I don't see it when I'm watching it. I don't really, because I think like before with all the trolls and all that, like the bullying and the harassing, I couldn't watch those videos because I genuinely got demonic spirit. Like the moment I even saw the titles, the people, like the verbiage, the certain things. Now within his video, when he plays certain clips of certain things, like of course I don't get the bad demonic vibes from him. I'm getting it from the people he's playing. So that can be a little bit triggering, but it also comes with maturity and just understanding that it is what it is, and it is what it is. I can't run away from my reality my entire life, because if you do that, you kind of don't. Okay, get it all out. Okay, we're done with that. So, but like when you kind of run away from your reality of life, you don't confront the demons or the accountability that needs to be taken or the message that needs to be learned. You kind of like run away from your problems, and that's also not a good thing, or it's not good for character development. So as I matriculate through my life and as I continue to age, like I want to be able to learn from my experiences. And I've noticed with a lot of things that have occurred that were really, really triggering, like I kind of didn't want to confront them. And that's why I ended up in counseling as a child, and then going back to like 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 different counselors with the same issue. And it's like, when you think about it, like, why do I have to go to counselors for the same issue over and over again? But it's because I was kind of like not really trying to like hit the problem head first. Like it was like, I'm going to run away because I don't want to deal with the negative energy of it. It's negative energy, is bad vibes. Because I get it. Like me, I don't deal with negativity. I don't like negativity. So in my everyday life, that's not what I kind of want to run towards. So that's why, like I said, I didn't watch those negative videos as negative energy. But as far as like the reality of my life and situation, like I have to take the good with the bad. I got to confront the good with the bad. I got to figure out what I can learn from the good and from the bad. And I think that's what this is more so about for me. It says, I know that Kool-Aid extra sweet. I understand, sis, but that's what therapy is for, and praying, not having, or doing serious on it. The comments are, the comments, I don't watch them, so that's not nothing. Read them. So I haven't read not one, so I'm good. Like, I could care less about what's being said, because that's not affecting me in any shape or form at all, because I don't read those. I already made that decision, because there's no point. The facts are the facts. There's no point in reading anything when the facts are outlined for you clear visibly for the video. So, when you're watching TV, like when you're watching reality TV, those people are like, you don't have to worry about like a comment section being live with you when you're watching reality TV. So if everybody watched Housewives of Atlanta right now, and a whole stadium full of people are commenting like amongst one another, like the people in the show don't have to deal with the negative comments or the negative feedback, because it's television. So but there could still be thousands of negative comments, thousands of negative feedback, thousands of piss poor opinions about things, people misconstruing things, people taking things out of context, people lying, people, whatever it may be. It could still be just that, but there's not a comment section that follows. So you kind of just get to interpret it how you interpret it, and it's just out there. So that's kind of what this is. It's like, I can interpret what I want to interpret, and the other people who, aren't as, I don't want to say ignorant, I want to say the people who are not as coherent with facts, then they will have a negative outlook on it, and that doesn't matter. It shouldn't bother you. Some people are stronger than others. Keesha says it was a learning experience, so let her be. Them folks be in the shade room fighting, but just like the shade room. Like, people post on the shade room all the time, other people's lives, and it is what it is. Like, but there's people in the shade room comments going in, like, but you can't let it affect you. Some of these celebrities will probably never read those comments, and if they do read those comments, they choose to, see what people are saying about it, then that's on them. If they just say, "Oh, I made like." What happened with Ray J? I didn't even watch the verses, but I got on Instagram briefly before bed, and I'm seeing a scandal going down. Like, Ray J, what is going on? So it's thousands of comments of people saying Ray J is whack. Ray J can't sing. And from what I heard, I didn't know what was. I ain't even gonna lie to y'all. I didn't know what was going on. Ray J, you didn't do Brandy any justice on that verses. I didn't know what was going on. But Ray J, did he see his self being posted? I'm pretty sure he did, but did he go read all the comments? I don't know. He probably, if he has a thick skin, he could have read it and laughed, wrote it off his skin, or just didn't care. Some of them and some of them be all up in the comments, because at the end of the day, celebrities, influencers, people with a lot of followers, whoever which want to call it, they have feelings, they have emotions, so they're human. Like, no one is above being, I know people like, oh, get on the Beyonce energy, blah, blah, blah. Get on, even Omarion, they say get on the Omarion energy, but more often than not, most people are not on that Beyonce vibration. More often than not, people are not on that Omarion vibration. They're on I'm going to defend my truth or whatever I stand for. I got to go back and watch that verses though, because I've been seeing like a lot of different bits and pieces. But I don't know. No. Not right now. It's not nothing in the fridge. Well, you want something? I'm good. Mac, you about to be making all this noise. I'm good. I'm about to go relocate. Okay, I'm about to relocate while you do all this. See, I'm already hearing. Y'all, hold on. Let me relocate. They just got a lot of noise going on. I pause my thing. Oh yeah, there we go. Let me relocate so we can see more noise. Why are you looking like that? Okay, y'all. I'm in this junky room now. Trying to get into the live. Okay, y'all. Okay, y'all, sorry. I had to relocate. Babe insisted on making me something to eat. He talking about he ain't gonna be that noisy, but we know he is. And I can't be focusing on my tea time with y'all. So here we in this room with all this. Okay, let me get my notes together so we can get into it. But yes, so no, Jori's not 2. She'll turn 2 July 28th. Mario was looking like a snack and he sounded great. I gotta watch it. Like, I just gotta see it. Like, I just gotta see it. And y'all know Sammy works out at my gym. So I'm probably gonna, because I saw like he was going back and forth with Ray J. Like, I just feel like I want to be able to say something in like, Sammy, like, let me stop. I ain't gonna say nothing to that man. I don't care that much now, but I can't wait to see that verses. Maybe you can ask us questions about Martin's video. I love Martin. He's so funny. He's nothing about the yeah. He's so, when I tell you I was cracking up at the end. Let me get into my receipts, y'all. Because did I have a lot? Oh yeah, I did kind of. Ooh. Well, it was a long video. I did. I think I was going in like I was talking to my friend or something. So all this stuff I'm not gonna say. So, yeah. Wait, Ray J was in it. Yeah, Ray J was in the verses. You didn't see that clip on Shade Room D? I know we've been getting to the money, talking about this money, honey, but girl, I was like, it was a clip of him singing One Wish, and he was sounding, and then wasn't it Jeremiah singing something too? I was like, what is going on? Like, I was like, is this punked? Like, are we getting punked right now? Not, I didn't think Ray J sounded like, you know, whoever, but I was like, is he drunk right now? He don't realize what's going on. Like, it was just crazy. It was crazy. Why was Ray J there? I don't know. I have no idea. I didn't see it, so I don't know. Somebody got to chime in on the comment. Was it because it was between Amarion and Mario? And then I love both of them. And then they said that Marion got served today. The girls fundraiser, so the popcorn fundraiser ended, and now they're on their uniform fundraiser. So it's kind of like you can sponsor a part of the uniforms. So that's what it is. Speaking of, someone texted me and said they wanted to sponsor a part of it. I need to respond back. He was the opening act. Ray J brought out his friends and baby. Yeah, I saw his baby. Ray J sounded like me. That's how I sound singing One Wish. Keesha, can you say my name? Melissa Jurians? I know Melissa got to be right. Mary J and Bobby V were the pre-show. I love Bobby V, y'all. I love Tell Me, Anonymous. Like, I still listen to him to this day faithfully. Like, I love him. Okay, now y'all, let's go ahead and get into it because I know y'all want to be on here all night long. So, anyways, Martin released part 4 of his series, or 5 of his series of, I don't know when, a couple of days ago, I guess. And like I said, I missed it, but I did have a chance to catch up and watch the series today. And I took some notes. And I kind of want to like go in order from the notes that I have. Like I said, I know some people may feel like this is a headache. Just imagine being in my shoes. Not because he's doing the series. Martin hasn't done anything to add any negativity to my life directly. If anything, he is bringing clarity to the mayhem that went down from the other people. So, like I said to the other individual, D, the series is not an issue to me. And it is what it is. He's just being factual and honest with his facts, not opinion, but his facts that he's been taking obviously over a year to, sorry Martin, but taking over a year to, be a authentic and legitimate journalist and get the facts and form a conclusion based off those things. But when are you moving, Keesha? Soon. But so yeah, within opening of the video, Martin, so this episode kind of also just kind of like spoke a lot about debunking some of the lies and some of the evidence that they had for the reckoning and all this other stuff, just kind of like putting in perspective of why the reckoning did not need to happen and how distasteful it was and all that. So first of all, the first thing that y'all, I need somebody to go get y'all good sis Octavia. I have never had so much confusion about an individual such as her. I am genuinely confused about Octavia. I don't know if it's the fact that I don't know her, never met her, don't care anything about her, her life, anything. And or she has so much, she was so vocal, her presence was so strong in this episode, and it's been present a lot within the drama. Let me turn my phone on, not to exit out of my screen. It's so weird to me. Like I just don't, I really sat here and tried to watch the series and open myself up to being non-biased, because clearly I'm team me. I'm team me. And that's just gonna stay the way it was. So I was like, let me really try to open up myself to hearing other perspectives as a mature individual, to understand other people's grievances or the need for them to insert themselves in such a negative capacity up until this point. Like literally, like I said, if you guys don't know, we have a close friends situation. Like I'm being told she's constantly talking about me on live, constantly talking about this, that, and the third. Like it's just like, how are you finding these things out for someone you don't know and care about or watch? And I just don't, I still don't get why she felt the need to insert herself. But we do have her exact words, that she wanted to fight the battle for her friend. And she said, no, sis, you sit back. I got this. Let me speak on it. So that was the most ignorant thing that I could have ever seen somebody do. See, my problem with that, although me and Brittany are no longer friends at this very moment, when Brittany decided to insert herself into the equation, Brittany did not insert herself as a premature party to the situation. Brittany and myself had been friends for at least 3 years, up until that point. Not only that, we both were very privy to one another's family. We both were present at one another's births of our children. Not physically, y'all know what I'm saying. Like after I gave birth, she was literally at the hospital. She got into a car accident on the way to come see me when I gave birth, and still came and managed to be there. Literally right after she gave birth, and she called and said she was comfortable with people coming. I was there. We know each other's family. We were at all the events. I was also a bridesmaid in her wedding. So she wasn't someone who just came off the street and just prematurely inserted herself into something she had no knowledge of, and had no merit to stand on with an opinion. However, Octavia, see, she only circles back to Jeremy's childhood, when she and Jeremy had their fling going on. And I think because of that, she kind of associates herself with feeling like she has some leg to stand on with my personal business in this situation, that she has so much disdain towards me for whatever reason. I still have not been able to grasp and understand what her real beef is with myself, or even more importantly, my children, her hatred, the way she speaks on my children specifically, when, you know, we don't come from the same background. We don't share the same values, morals, and principles. So we can't align in that regard. But I would hope and assume that someone who was this wrapped up and consumed with another individual's life in this type of like extent would eventually wake up and have a realization that their team doing too much. And that's what I got from just the opening of the video. And yeah, I don't know if she wants Jeremy. Octavia tried to get a bootleg Jeremy. She loves, yeah, I don't, Jeremy's childhood fling. Yes, absolutely what I said. Exactly what I said. But that's neither here nor there. I don't care about that. I don't really care. I don't care about Octavia. My only concern is when she's calling my child slow as if she is some doctor, as if she's some intelligent being who has a degree. Where's the degree again? What's her degree? What? Any degree. What degree does she, what specialty does she have? Because the only one I know is running that big ass mouth and talking about children, and deflecting on her behavior. So the things that you want to defend of other women is because you hold yourself to some type of regard, because you walk in that same path. So one of her opening statements was that me and Jeremy were mentally ill. So what I find to be mentally ill, and I do also have a sister who has a master's in the medical field. I also have a father who is a who's who of America, and I already graduated from the #1 HBCU with Latin honors. And furthermore, I just have regular intelligence to know that someone who really is mentally ill is someone who gets on the internet and forces their friend to come forward and put themselves in a limelight and hold themselves up like it's an honor and a badge of glory to have a relationship with someone else's significant other in whatever capacity they see fit, and pride themselves on that. And also, someone who's mentally ill is for someone to literally insert themselves in a complete stranger's business and say it's on behalf of your friend. So it was a lot of contradictions. Martin spoke a lot about the contradictions. So that was the first contradiction I saw. It was like she's throwing rocks and hiding hands because her friend is speaking on behalf and blah, blah, blah. But then you tell your friend, what was it? No, 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 no. I got this. Let me speak on it. You go sit back there. So how my friend of 3+ years didn't say, no, 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 sis, you just gave birth to a baby and going through postpartum depression. No, 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 you sit down and let me defend you. So it is completely uncanny for my friend to be in her wherewithal to defend me, but you can go on the internet and insert yourself so ignorantly about a situation you didn't even know about. And one of the things that Martin played a recording of, I forgot what episode, probably the last episode before this one. And then I actually heard it with my own 2 ears when I was watching one of Paris's old videos that, YouTube removed for harassment and bullying. But that was the video of when Octavia was telling Paris, a stranger, just like Brilliant Bree was a stranger to me. And I was so wrong for talking to Brilliant Bree. Yeah, Martin highlighted that too, because you guys don't know each other at all. And actually to this very day, don't even speak. So anyways, one of the things that, I was there from the beginning. No, being there from the beginning is someone like Brittany, who was in my house and experiencing out on family outings, friend outings with me and my significant other to make an opinion about our relationship or whatever. See, I can at least value that aspect of Brit. She had a leg to stand on with her opinion. Regardless if that was the demise of a friendship, but regardless, she had a leg to stand on, because it wasn't just 2 times that you was around somebody, and none of those times was you in the bedroom, and not none of those times were you around me and this man. But you go on off of these false narratives about us being, him not being in love with me, and just running in the wind, like, ignorantly, as she was clearly been and showed throughout this whole entire thing. So that's what my problem was. And, I really, really sat, and to have, as a mother, to have to continuously, hear someone replay and replay and replay and replay clips of another woman who does not know me or know my children and has children of her own, talking about my child being slow. Like, I'm never going to let up off of this individual, because, and by let up, I don't mean go back and forth with the internet. I'm talking about until the end of time. I will never look at this individual, this person, as a credible human being. I don't mean I'm going to go back and forth over the internet, because I got other things to do with my life. I'm saying I will never look at this individual, Octavia, as a credible human being because of the things that she does and displays, not because of what Lipstick Alley told me about her. It's because of the things that I see for myself. You know what I'm saying? And that's where we draw the line with mentally ill Octavia, because that's what you have to possibly be, to come on the internet and try to defend your friend after you were fondling his goodies just years before that. That's just food for thought. So that was that. So like I said, she wanted to fight the battle for her friend. That's great. If you want to defend your friend, D defends me all the time, and that's actually my friend. Not only is D my friend, let's get on to the friendship of me and D. See, D met me at the beginning of my YouTube career. This is when I was just Keesha Spellman, and I had probably 12,000 followers, I believe. And this was when I was 23 years old. I'm 28 now. And me and D still talk all the time. Like right now, we've been talking about investing in businesses and getting our business credit together, and the things that we're going to do to secure the bag for our children, and trust funds, and bigger things. Those are the things that we talk about. Not gossip, drama, and sleeping with other people's men. Nothing like that. But I've known Dee personally. She's also one of the first people I told about my pregnancy, one of the first people I told about my miscarriage, one of the, people who were invited to all of my children's milestones of their life, birthdays, holidays, celebrations. I've known her son since he was 2, 3. She's been in videos doing pranks. She's, had my back behind the scenes for years. And, we actually bond on a different level outside of, coming up off of trolling, bullying, and harassing people for absolutely no reason whatsoever. So, that friend defends me. But there are some people I've met within the last few months, and we've been in gatherings. Like, let's just say, for instance, I have a lot of friends. You guys know, like Ariel, the girl's godmom. Y'all know her. Went to Spelman with me. I'm always at her events. She has a lot of friends at those events. So let's just say me, I go to one of those events. I meet one of those girls. We're cool, blah, blah, blah. And then that person decides to come to the internet and try to claim themselves as my friend, and that was all this, to defend me. And I don't know you for real, for real. That's kind of how this is. Like, I don't know why you felt like the friend word was what it was, when it truly had no substance to bully a child. So you're telling me to defend and protect your friend, you needed to bully and demean a 3-year-old in the process, and still to this day not take accountability for that. And every time you've said you're going to excuse yourself from this, you keep crawling back. Just as recent as a few weeks ago, talking about me and my boyfriend's close friends when we were having a great time. And you're not a close friend, so I don't know why you even have an opinion about it. But I digress with that. So the next thing that I heard them or Octavia speak about directly was calling my child a revenge baby. And y'all already know how I feel about that. I won't really go into detail about that because let's just say this. Me and Jeremy were in a relationship. I wasn't creeping and sleeping and doing all that other stuff with someone who was not belonging to me. We were having unprotected, as we always do because we're in a relationship. And children can come from that. I don't really know what else to say. I wouldn't need to get revenge on another woman that I already have children with this man. Not only do I have children, I have twin girls. Do you know how much we get stopped every second? You have twins. Do they stop you when you do have your kids? You will understand that then. Like, I don't really know. I'm not going to defend me and him having Jori. There's nothing to defend with that. Because Martin said it best. Like, a lot of you guys like to say, oh, she's just a baby mama too. But Martin pointed out clear as day, like, no, like that's his whole life partner. Like, they have a whole family together. And there is a structure within that. And anyone who wants to be ignorant enough to say, oh, she's just the baby mama too, legally, but we are not just embedded with one another with kids. You see, we don't just share kids with one another. Like how you embed yourself financially with someone when you wed them. We have things like that's going on. That's not for me to share with you guys, but we have a lot of different structural things that the only thing we really need is the title of being husband and wife. But, that's just also food for thought. Yeah, and then I saw more comments about not only are they calling Journey slow, but saying that she looks slow. And anybody with eyes, I don't really need to defend Journey's looks at all. I won't. I mean, every mother genuinely should be saying their child is the most beautiful, of course, but I'm not going to defend my daughter's beauty. She's 3, so that's very ignorant, extremely ignorant, and a bit abrasive for a woman who looks the way that, What I want to say to you is that this series has taught me a lot about growth and reflecting on things that I know I can work on better. And we're going to get into those things because I know how to hold myself accountable. So we're going to get into that. I think it's a few more notes from now, but we're going to get into my accountability. But talking about my child or children, now it's 2 out of 3 that you revenge. You address a newborn baby as a revenge baby. Where they do that at? But you say that my mother raised me wrong. But you're calling some random girl who you barely know's child your godson, but you're telling me I'm obsessed with the son. I wanted the son so bad. Like, but you protect and defend her son more than you protect and defend your biological daughters. But I'm obsessed with somebody's son. Like, come on, make it make sense. So, the next thing is we got onto Paris saying I inspired Paris to start a new channel. I love that that clip, Martin, if you're watching this. So Paris pretty much in the video was saying things like, I inspired Paris to start a channel. Paris said that Paris could tell that I'm a sweet and genuine person. And then Paris completely flip the script. The thing that they say I do, throw rocks and hide hands. Paris did all those things and saying all these great things about my character. And when I first started my YouTube channel, that was kind of like in my most weakest moments of my life. I was very fragile. So if you saw strength in who I was while I was at Spelman, then you obviously don't know character analysis very well, and you don't have discernment of character. I was a very fragile, meek individual. I was going through a lot. I was extremely depressed. I had no voice. I was a people pleaser. I was not, I didn't have enough self-love at the time to not tolerate certain things from certain people. I had a lot of flaws that Keesha needed to work on during that time. And at that point, I kind of did not know where to draw the line with airing those fragilities out with the world and within myself. But do I regret it? No, it did definitely helped a lot of people be able to understand a lot about mental health from watching me experience my own issues. But the old Keesha is not the better Keesha. The Keesha you see today is 100% better than the Keesha you met then. I don't know if you wanted me to stay meek, quiet, and fragile, but that's a problem. But a lot of people related to that. And once I broke out of that shell, a lot of people could not no longer relate. So they took that and formed hate. And that's what you did, Paris, because like Martin so eloquently pointed out, the whole throw rocks and high hands, you publicly did that for thousands of people to watch over and over. You allowed subscribers, family. Oh, you can put it up. I'm gonna get it with some I'm done.
I just want to show you something.
Okay. Hold on, y'all. They want me to eat. He want me to. He messing with my tea time, y'all. Hold on, y'all. Let me. And now we pause for a brief 5-second intermission. Ugh. Where is it?
Go, Patty, go, Patty.
If you learn how to sing, we'll take you on here. Okay? And you can go on there with Daddy, and Daddy can give you some beats and stuff. Yes, Journie and Jori can come too, baby. Jori can or can't sing? Oh yes. Say, this girl is on fire. Sing it, sing it. Say, this girl is. I don't hear nothing. Good job, Jiya. Do it, Journey. Journey, say, this girl is fire. Say, that's from the Christmas tree. Uh-huh. Man, you put that on for them? Oh my gosh, see, this is exactly, that's what I was about to say too. Just put my bowl up there. Okay, y'all, sorry. The girl, so Jiya's they found America's Got Talent, and there's this little girl talking about, she was singing This Girl's on Fire, and Jiya talking about she want to meet her so she can ask her, why you do that? And then she want to sing back to the girl. So, yeah, that was that. When people harass you and try to destroy your life, who is anyone else to tell her how long she could talk about? Exactly. Or is anybody I don't really know what people are saying to these people. I don't watch their stuff. I don't engage. Um, all I know is when I'm watching Martin's videos and I'm seeing and hearing with my own two eyes and my own two ears negative things that are being said about kids, kids should be off limits, period, point blank. So about my kids, I'll go to the end of the world. So that's just that. And this is all constructive criticism. This isn't a negative video. This isn't a bashing video. This is all constructive for everybody involved because, like I said, I have parts in here that are constructive for myself, but more importantly, somebody has to tell her the truth. And since obviously she has a fetish for me and is so infatuated with everything I'm doing, then maybe this message can get along to her some kind of way, because I'm pretty sure it will, that she needs to kind of like mind the business that pays her and figure out how to not talk about it but be about it. And by that I mean, because we're not going to fight, don't do that. I'm talking more like if you want to claim someone to be a bad parent when you don't know them at all, and Child Protective Service that you guys have sent to my home ever so often has also claimed me to be an outstanding parent. And I joke about this all the time that they will give me an award if they did things like that, but they don't, unfortunately. So all I have is, my word against you guys. Obviously, everyone knows at this point from the last run-in we had with Child Protective Service when I recorded and let you guys hear that they're not in favor of the BS, and now they have complied and have sent over whatever necessary information it was to the police because I have had to escalate it. But the whole point in that is they don't see anything wrong with me as a parent. I get on the internet every day and see people in prison because of doing this or doing that. Like, and that's what is so disheartening, because it's like the things that they say about me is like, you would think that I was in a boat with these same people you're seeing on social media, and that is far from the truth, like literally far, far, far from the truth. And really sad that the hate runs that deep. And I still don't get it. Like, I still just don't get it. So it's kind of like at this point, you got to just learn how to leave me alone. You got to just leave me alone. You got to leave my kids alone. You got to leave me alone. You got to leave my family alone. You got to leave my man alone. Like, just leave us all alone. Just leave us alone. Like, I'm not bothering you. I'm not caring whatsoever about what you're doing or you as a parent. I don't know you. Like, this is all so funny to me because it's like, I don't know this person. And for anybody to think that, I mean, if this was y'all child or children that been talked about in this derogatory manner, pretty sure a lot of y'all would do way worse than, me just constructively telling someone like, that's not okay. And like, let's make better choices for ourselves and for our children that are going to grow up one day and see Martin's video and see, like, imagine me seeing my mother right now. I got to keep bringing my mother into this. Like, imagine me, somebody sending me a clip and my mom was talking about a child, like, in the way that I would be disgusted. Like, what, Mom? Like, what were you doing? And God forbid, for me to be like, oh, my mom did that. Now I can join in and I can do stuff like that. See, that's when the negative cycles happen. So it's kind of like you got to stop yourself in your tracks and don't talk about, oh, I'm not a negative person. Oh, I don't like negative energy. And you literally eat, sleep, and ish on a negative site on a daily. So, yeah, so we were off the whole Paris commentary because then it skipped back to Octavia again. And she spoke about me being obsessed with Jeremy's son, and Martin proved that was a narrative, and that was also doomed from, like, that narrative was doomed from the moment it rolled off her tongue. I don't know why it is so, I think they, like, how the trolls like always spew negativity and toxicity. Like, Octavia is a part of that. She loves that place. So it's like they didn't want me to embrace the child. They wanted me to either A, leave Jeremy so that he can give them what they all wanted with going off with her, or, live up to their negative expectations of me. Like when you have such a toxic lifestyle or mentee, then you're kind of like always in a negative space. Like I always expect the worst. So it's very hard and not feasible for some people to see that I was able to accept the child into my life, especially being that I was pregnant AF at the time when they found out that he was the father, and embrace the child and the child's mother and invite them into my home and do positive reinforcement and positive support of that union. People who are toxic and stay in toxic mentalities and are raised in toxic environments, they could not process that. And even like, and then I got to put a dash, because there's also some people who were not raised like that and they just still kind of like, wait, what, you were what, like that would have been a lot for me. So I get that, but Octavia was more on the negative side. It wasn't like a rational person saying like, I couldn't imagine. No, it was kind of like, now I'm going to say she's obsessed with you because I've never seen this form of maturity in my life. Like I could never imagine, you know, being this way or accepting something like that. Now you have to stump on me and not say, positive things. Like, like her character is one hell, she's one hell of a woman. It couldn't have been me, but at least she is doing some sense of positive reinforcement so that the children are not affected by the adults' behaviors. It couldn't have been that rhetoric. Instead, it had to be, she's obsessed with her son. She's da da da. And like Martin pointed out, I only asked about him through the conversations that we had those 2 times. And that's only because she blocked him and told me that she was only going to communicate with me. So to be as respectful and try to facilitate their terrible communication skills, I'm like, okay, well, I'm going to be, I'm going to be mature and I'll, be a part of it. And the second time when I even asked about him being over with the girls, it was because they were doing a sibling photo shoot. And like I said to them, both of them, I don't want, and I could not imagine as a child knowing I had 3 or however many siblings out there, even one sibling out there. And um and I go to my second grade classroom, and I always say second grade because in second grade, I remember distinctively in my second grade classroom, right, like having a family tree, and the teacher asking us to bring in family photos and write a story about your family. And as painful as the situation was, I didn't want that child's story to be tarnished because I wanted to be bitter or act out in rage and hold it against him. So he suffered and he couldn't have a relationship with his sister so that he could write that second grade story. And it may sound so cliche to you guys, but I was in a relationship with someone for 5 years, and their only siblings that they accepted were the siblings that they had in the household with them. They had 3 siblings by their father out of their house and even out of the state. And I remember towards the end of that relationship is the first time they actually wanted, like, I'm not going to get too much into their personal business because none of y'all concerned, but towards the end, I just remember the siblings. One of the siblings was 11. One of them was 9. One of them was 7. I want to say those were the age ranges. But mind you, this was when I was 22 years old. She was 22. And you have siblings of this. And of course, it's a age gap. However, she also had a sibling that was, how old was her little baby sister at the time? 5. So the age gap wasn't an issue. A sibling is a sibling. But my thing is, those siblings fiend for some type of relationship with her because you're still my sister. And because of the toxicity between the parents and her father, it was so much that could not happen. And I remember so many times sitting her down, like, you can't be like this. Like, those are still your siblings. No matter what the story is, mom, dad, Henry, Mary, none of that matters. Like, you have to still understand, like, you can't hold it against them because they're yearning for that relationship with you. And now, like, they're literally like, they started calling me and texting me, like, trying to clean however they could so desperately. And I remember being so like, we're going to digress with that because, like I said, I don't want to get into her business. So back to my situation, it was kind of like, I know the bitter baby mama story. I know, and this has nothing to do with me being Jeremy's girlfriend. This has everything to do with me being the mother of his 3 other children. So, regardless if me and him were together or not, it was still the right thing to do of accepting the child so that the children did not have to be affected. And if you want to call that obsession, Octavia, because you grew up in a dysfunctional lifestyle or your family right now is dysfunctional, whatever the reasons are, that's on you. Don't put that on me, calling me obsessed with a child. No, I was obsessed with all the kids being able to successfully grow up with one another. And you ruined that ish. And you got to deal with that on your conscience because you wanted to be big, bad Octavia and come to the mother loving internet, bring your friend to the internet, play mind games with her and convince her that, we can get a bag off of your son instead of him having a real relationship with his father and his siblings. Let's make this all about me, and Keesha, because the reckoning was for me and it was about me. And all that did was hurt the child that you were trying to protect. And it doesn't make sense to me because look where you are now. No godson, no bestie. And you ruined their whole family dynamic because of your selfish gain. And what did you gain from it? Nothing. So anybody who's watching this, let me give you guys a little bit of insight onto my experience. This has been the hardest thing I've ever had to deal with in my life. Is this a perfect situation of how I would have wanted my family to be? Absolutely no. Is this my reality in the cards that I have to deal with regardless? Absolutely yes. And that's regardless if me and him are together or not, because we still have these kids that tie us together. So if he has kids with 10 other women, or if I have kids with 10 other men, we still have to come together as the parents and facilitate positive lives for our children so that they are not getting counseling and being healed because the parents were selfish when they were smaller. I don't want my children to be damaged. I don't want my children to be scarred. As damaged as I was, and as much as I wish I could have had more opportunity to heal from the news of Jeremy fathering a child, that was the most selfless for those who can't understand, selfless thing for me to have to decide. As much as I don't want to interject another child into my happy moment, I'm about to give birth in a few weeks. As much as I don't want to interject another child into that, hold on. You got it? Oh, you knocked that over a little. Okay, you got it? She's coming. She's closing the door. Okay. So I don't need any cheers or applauses for me making that choice. But I also didn't need a village or a community of people to ostracize me for trying to just do the right thing. The messages were completely amicable between the two of us. She did not do me a favor, contrary to how the videos were set up, by sitting down with me to make my household good, because the only people who could fix the household were the people who live in that household. So that was not a favor. And like Martin also pointed out, that if you were really trying to fix the household or trying to, worry about all the children, all the sidebar texting and all the, inappropriate conversations just would not have happened. You were just trying to look out for you. And that's just what that was. And there also was another point that I had to make about that, but maybe it was a little bit later on in the video. So I'm gonna digress with that. And the next thing we have, and I'll get back to the comments. Let me see if there was anything up into that. Yeah. my kids have an outside sibling, and I love that little boy. And I know a lot of people who have outside siblings and they love that child. And it's so sad and unfortunate that how the situation played out, that party makes me not want to have any type of, like, even if I wanted to publicly admire or show love for the child, the way that they set positive influencing and the support of that is like the way that they say, oh, that comes off as obsession, because like, I did not know. See, I didn't know Octavia was God. So the way Octavia fixed her fucking mouth to sit here and say I was obsessed with somebody's child because they had a boy. See, there's a point that I gotta make with that, because I'm gonna get to it, because there was a line that's so, I'm so glad Martin played this so I can have it, because a lot of the stuff I didn't hear, remember? So I'm gonna get to it, but it's like, it's kind of like, oh y'all, let me just go in order for this stuff so I don't mess my own thoughts up. Um, so yeah, next on to the fake accounts. Oh, now we're here. So the next part of the series was focusing on these fake accounts that they say I had. Martin, I was on live and Martin, I was showing like some of the comments that they were leaving under the girls' jamboree thing, and they're like, "Oh my gosh, this is Keesha's a fake account," and it was my daughter's account. Like Martin was like, "Hey, like this looks like your child's account. Can you send me the photo? Like that was her, avatar photo at the time of this." I'm like, "Are you kidding me? Like." These are your gods, Octavia, that you worship every day. People who can't even look at a photo and realize, like, obviously, that is her daughter. I was logged into my daughter's account at the time of me taking that screenshot. Y'all would never win a case in criminal law because you can't even look at the hard facts in front of you, Octavia. How could you possibly diagnose a child as slow when you can't even look at a picture and see that that's the child's profile? It doesn't make sense. This is why I say constructively that this is not your line of business that you should take part of and give your attention and energy to. You got to find something else, because this is just not suitable for people like the Martins, who would never do a story on me, who would never give the facts. And now that he did, you got to kind of call a spade a spade. That was Jori's account, and I took a screenshot from Jori's account. So that's one fake account that's checked off. Then it was, I said, I don't know what comment I was putting. It said now a fake account is, oh no, I know. Okay. Then the neighbor. Oh well, the neighbor said that Keesha had a fake account. No, the neighbor was almost sucked into y'all's lies, like y'all love to do and say on any given moment. And then she actually was able to have a real conversation because she's mature, and all that was nipped in the bud. Me and her are cool. We see each other every day. We're neighbors, obviously, and we're cool. So it's really nothing to defend with her. Martin already showed screenshots of her defending me a couple of weeks ago. Like after one of those series, I think after the last series, someone commented and was like, "Hey girl, Keesha tried to da da da." She shut that down because she already saw what it was just that easily. So that was that. And then lastly, the Bumblebee account. So Martin, when he was reaching out to me about this Bumblebee account, I was like, what is, I'm like, okay, this rings a bell. Now, I think the problem is that the trolls feel as though they can say whatever the fuck they want to say about me and my children, but the moment something was said in regards to her or whoever they're supportive, it's like, see, this is evil, this is demonic, this is disgusting. So if this wasn't a live video and I really had the time, which I don't, but I'm pretty sure y'all already know the masses of evidence and receipts I could possibly give you guys about the negative things that they say on a regular basis to me from their fake accounts about me, about my children. I mean, Octavia said it clear as day repeatedly in the series of my child being slow and looking slow and being dumb and all these things. Like, that's just, if that doesn't, give you guys the evidence you guys need, I don't know what else to give you guys. But those are the things that they don't like. So I guess the Bumblebee account. So for one, calling someone a prostitute or whatever the other stuff the account said does not mean it was me. So let me tell you the reason why I know it wasn't me. Because like she said in the Reckoning video, I already messaged her those very things, not the prostitute part, because I wouldn't even say that. Like, what? I messaged her things that I wanted to say. And no, they weren't tasteful at all. But they were said by me directly. And bye. They were said directly by me. So, because that was a part of the video where he said, or where she said, when he played the recording of her saying, what did she say? I got to make sure I get my quotes right. Miss Ma'am was sending me all those messages, and I had to delete the messages because I'm the type of person that's going to reread and reread and reread and reread and then get mad and want to punch her when I see her. That's what I'm talking about. So I had already sent what I wanted to say, and I've already stood 10 toes down on that. That was never a secret. I said that directly to the person I was talking to. And also, furthermore, when we met up in person, I said what I wanted to say as well. But that was not a conversation between the internet and myself. I wouldn't need a fake account to do that. So that's how I knew the account wasn't me, because I'm like, why would I make a fake account to say the things that I already said from our number and said, hey, this is me saying these things? Like, and also, like Martin pointed out, it was you all tried to convey it like, oh, Keesha was doing all these things as of recently. Those things were done way prior to the Reckoning even happening. Once we sat down and had that conversation, there was, why would I be messaging something negative at that point? We're like, I just gave birth. Like, what? Like, who does that? Like, we're trying to come together, which we were, come together positively for the children, until big head Octavia got in her friend's ear and led her astray. But I can't say just Octavia taking accountability for that, because we're all accountable for our own actions. So yeah. And oh yeah, so the screenshot of the email account. So upon further research, because I had to really try to go help Martin. I was like, Martin, what is going on with this one account? So back in I don't remember what year it was, but it was within the first year or two of me having a YouTube channel, and I was hacked. My iCloud was hacked, and I don't know how the person did it, but if you watch me for a long period of time, then you know when I was hacked. But I remember talking about I was hacked. I had to call the police. Remember, I had got the private investigator, but I had contacted Apple because I'm like, how the freak are these people getting into my iCloud over and over and over again? And kind of find out, like, they were having a conversation with Apple. They, when you call in for certain things and you ask, like, provide this password, blah, blah, blah. So I reached out to customer support and was trying to get into my account. At the same time, this other person reached out to customer support. So they were trying to get access or whatever they were trying to do on my account. Excuse me. So they made an email similar to mine. We were able to figure it out. Actually, so I was able to get my iCloud back, and then that's when I first was introduced to two-step authentication, because Apple, I ended up calling them. They were like, oh, the individual like had some of the security questions, and the email was rather similar to the actual email on the account, blah, 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 blah. So I'm assuming that this person, which they do a lot of weird stuff, y'all. Like I said, I can't explain away everything, because you would have to be in the mind of a troll, and I'm not in the mind of a troll to understand why they do the things that they do. And like I told Martin, I feel like, okay, if we've already debunked all the other fake accounts and troll accounts that they say were me, like half of y'all in here, I'm pretty sure they've said y'all were me. I explained it to him, like, I can't give energy to debunk these accounts over and over again. Like, I can't, because he was asking me, like, well, why didn't you? I think this coming out in probably his next video, but I remember him asking me, like, well, why didn't you just prove or provide evidence? And I'm like, to me, it wasn't something to provide evidence for. They always say I'm somebody else. They always say, that's Keesha. Look at the verbiage. Look at it. Everybody can see how I remember one time, like, somebody texts out something with exclamation points because they know I use exclamation points. It's not hard to look at somebody's verbiage and pretend to be them. Like, especially these trolls who are obsessed with me. Like, that's not far-fetched for them to do something like that. Now, why would they want to do it? I don't know. But regardless, like I said, all the fake account, like, I mean, I remember her saying in the video, like, oh, somebody called her from a fake number and all this. Like, that wasn't me. Like, none of that stuff was me. I don't have any energy to sit here and try to disprove that, because honestly, I don't care. I really don't. So I'm gonna leave it with that, because that's just all I have to give to that. It's not even neither here nor there. Some of the stuff is important to speak about throughout this series, and some things is just kind of like, they're going to continue to talk about the same things over and over again. They're going to continue to say, this fake page is me, that fake page is me, this is Keesha, this is da, 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 da. They're going to continue to do that through the end of time. It didn't start with her, and it's not going to end with her. They're trying to get more smoother with the things they do, because they keep getting caught now. Well, thank you, pretty Virgo mommy. But Keesha Jones, yep, Keesha Jones, Keesha Jones probably watching right now. But one thing I can say is, when you're not in a troll pool, it is very easy to kind of be like, just like my neighbor was like, wait, what? They doing what? They saying what? Like, and at this point, I don't want to say I was public enemy number one to her, but I was not anyone who she was in favor of, given the circumstances. Like, she was more in favor of Jeremy. So her sentiments towards me were going to completely be skewed, and it was easy for her to receive negative things about me and to accept those negative things about me, because of course she doesn't want to see me as like a genuine person who would just accept the situation and be completely supportive. And that's fair. We're human. We're given those emotions. But like I said, the only thing I can't support and give, like, understanding to is, supporting, an individual talking down on children, and you're present, and they share blood with your child. That's what I won't ever understand. The next thing was Brilliant Bree. And that's also another thing throughout the series. For the life of me, I can't understand Brilliant Bree. I can't. To this day, I still remain the same energy about Brilliant Bree, because clout is crazy. To this day, I still don't know Brilliant Bree is a reactor page. I didn't think she was a reactor page. I just thought she was one of those people who were making videos because this was the hype, this was the topics, and I'm going to make a response. And it was what it was. I didn't go check out Brilliant Bree's content. I didn't go do a deep dive search on Brilliant Bree. None of that. So what happened was, just like Martin has that evidence and the proof, and if he shows it, he shows it. I'm not pulling out, not a thing. But I've already proved to him, because all the receipts that were sent to me were sent obviously from somebody else. So there was someone who started off as a subscriber and turned into a friend, and I had been friends with for over a year, or almost 2 years at that point. And during that time, like, we were really close and bonding and talking about a lot of stuff, like a lot of stuff in life, being real friends. Like, I'm on the phone talking to this person, like, aware of their child. We just live in different states, so obviously we couldn't meet up or anything. But anyways, she was the one who told me about Brilliant Bree and was like, hey, there's this video, blah, 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 blah. And she told me, she reached out to her. She was like, I'm going to try to email her. No, she said, I already emailed her. Or I forgot if she said, I'm going to try to email her. I already emailed her. Because this stuff is not true. Like, this has to stop. And I don't want to give too much information about her, because I don't need the trolls trying to do the most. But she didn't use her real email address, because she had already been, I think she was one of the people, well, I know for a fact, she was one of the people years ago when she used to defend me, was one of the number one pages that they used to always say was me. and they went and looked her up, and she had issues with her child with it, like, and then I think she found herself on Lipstick Alley, her personal, just like what they did with D, like her personal information on Lipstick Alley. So she went like really low key, and then she also had like a really stalking situation going on in her real personal life. So she put all her stuff on like low key, and she's like really really low key with all of her business. So she used a different email to reach out to Brie and Brie. Now Brie and Brie wouldn't have known if this was another email. She could have just looked at the email and just known like, this is the name I see, this is what it was. So anyways, when she reached out to me and said, hey, she sent me the screenshot of the thumbnail and said, hey, this person made this video, blah blah blah. So we're going back and forth. I'm like, see, here we go once again, somebody just saying they don't know what they're talking about. And she was like, yeah, I messaged her. And once again, I'm the direct type of person that I am. So I said, no, you don't worry about it. You don't have to get yourself involved. I'm going to message her myself. This is my situation. So I messaged Brie and Brie myself. That's when I messaged Brie and Brie myself. So once again, Brie and Brie, that was not a troll, or that was not me feeding information to a troll account. That person does not even have a YouTube account that they're, making videos on. They were one of my friends. Like I said, they did start off as a subscriber. But when Martin had asked me, because he was asking me like, did you send a video? Did you send videos of the kids and blah blah blah? And I'm like telling him like, these my kids in the video too. Like, this ain't nothing that's like I can send my kids to whoever I want to send. Like, what's going on? What I do know is I never sent pictures to troll accounts or reactive accounts or stuff like that. The one that I sent it to was Brie and Brie. So Brie and Brie, that was her evidence that she tried to use when the person clearly in the email, as Martin read, said that I'm a friend. Now he said that he didn't say who they were a friend of, but they just said I'm a friend. So I didn't see the whole email, that because I don't know if Martin showed the whole email or if Brie and Brie even sent the whole email. I'm still friends with that person, so I could obviously ask them if they had the email. Am I going to do that? No, because I don't care. But I'm just letting you guys know that since I wrote down my notes what that situation was about to clear that rumor. Brie and Brie was not told by any other reactor channels, nothing about, oh, Keesha gave me some evidence, Keesha sent me. And then he said that in the videos that he saw, when I talked to Martin, he said that he didn't see any pictures of the son in any of the videos. He saw my girl. So it is what it is. Martin saw it, not me. But Brie and Brie lied. And furthermore, like I said, I already took accountability for having a conversation with Brie and Brie. Was it right? No. But it was not done out of malice to try to scope or convince anybody to go and tear her down. At that point, there were already countless Instagram stories posted about, I'm going live, I'm doing this, I'm releasing the tea, I'm about to set it off. That girl, she's ungodly, she's this, those fake people are playing with me, obsessed with myself. It was all that already going on. So we were having like a girl conversation, and Brie was actively participating in that conversation, talking ish. So I thought that, she's venting to me about her personal life and things she dealt with her situations, and I'm being like, was it completely inappropriate? Absolutely. Do I wish that never happened? Absolutely. Can I take it back? No, not at this point. But I can just only learn from my mistakes and be a little bit more thoughtful with who I have conversations with. Everybody does not have my best interests at heart. Even now, I'm like really timid when I meet people, and I'm just like randomly talking because I'm like, you could be a troll secretly. I don't know. And I can catch myself sometimes being guarded. Like, I'm really, really guarded now, because I used to be like more just like a personable person. Like, I can just have conversations with anybody, and I can just take it there. Like, I'm a chatty person. You all can tell that from my vlogs, and that's genuinely my personality. But that can bite you in the ass, and it bit me in the ass with that. So I do regret having that conversation with Brie and Brie, not because I sent the picture, because that picture, like, the baby was already on the internet, like, so that wasn't really the regret. I really just regret other parts of that conversation. But like I said, not okay. I really regret who I had the conversation with more so than anything, because you got to be mindful when you say certain things about certain people, because there was nothing malicious that I said about the baby in the video. the messages. I would never say anything malicious about a child anyways. But Martin also pointed out that they tried to like, oh, she said that permanent problem. And he also pointed out, no, she was not talking about the baby. Anybody with common sense knows that. But of course it's like, aha, we have you saying this about the child. And that's not what I was talking about, because obviously I was right. It is a permanent problem that I have, and then not a permanent positive. It's like, look, here we are today, June 24th, and Jori's about to be 2, and we're still having a back and forth feud about go against her, no, go against her, da, da. So that's just what the permanent problem that I'm talking about. Now if it was just all mature parties, me, Jeremy, and her, like if it was like that, then it wouldn't have been that much of an issue, because I do know people who have had the situation go down and they're all maturely handling the situation. But that just can't happen when all parties aren't mature. You get what I'm saying? So I've had my shortcomings, and Brilliant Bree situation was for sure one of my shortcomings. But what I would not take accountability for was contacting trolls to ruin her. I didn't want the situation on the internet. I was just clearing my name because it was made out to be like I'm over here lying in a fashion video, and that's not what it was. And I did not want nobody upload no video talking about, oh, Keesha's saying that the baby's over there and he hasn't been over there. And I'm like, wait, what? No, I didn't say that. And also what's being said over there, it's just it was just too messy. It was too messy. But yeah, so I won't make that mistake anymore. So yeah, I learned a lot from that situation. The next thing was of the comments about no one was asking for the book in Q&A. No one was asking. Yes, everybody was. Everybody and their mother was, because that's why everybody and their mother ran off with a check with this situation. Just to be clear, that's why every party involved ran off with a check. That's why Octavia's infamous line, "I'm gonna eat you." Yeah, all of that. Yeah, that was because of the book in the Q&A. All because of people wanting to know what was going on with Keesha Kaylee. And that type of energy is not my most proudest moment of life also. But like I said, it wasn't my mess that I specifically made. So I can't beat myself up because I didn't do anything shisty to someone else. I literally have done and maintained my integrity as best possible as I possibly could, given the circumstances and given the things that are constantly done to me, like even up until now, that, neither here nor there. But I don't live for the drama of it all. It was like we were forced hands into the situation, because we already know at this point, Martin has pointed that out. And I think I don't know which episode it was, y'all, to be honest, but he already pointed out that his sister was the one who spilled the beans about him having an outside child. So it was our right to speak on our situation, how we saw fit. And people bought the book, and the numbers said that a lot of people wanted to see the book. And also, not even just the numbers of the pre-sale, the numbers after the news was even out tripled once the news was out. People bought the book just to read that one sentence, probably, to be honest. So people wanted the book, and thousands of people begged and pleaded for Q&A, regardless if it was people who really supported me, who were like, I'm so disappointed in this, or people who hated me, who were like, yes, we finally caught her down and out, let's kick her even more. People wanted to know about it because I'm an influencer, and I put myself in a very vulnerable position to be on the internet front and center for 8 years at this point. So I have allowed a lot of people, thousands of people to be exact, to be privy to me and my personal business more often than a lot of your common person that you see in the streets. So a lot of people want to tune into that, and it has its pros and it has its cons. And now I'm also taking accountability for that, but like I said, I still can't say that I was taking back sharing that, because it was inevitable to get out, and I didn't want anybody to look at us like we literally were trying to cover up a child and live a secret life. And all three parties involved, I must say, because Octavia, you don't have a leg to stand on with this situation. The three people who matter all were in agreement that we can write the book. So once the book is out, it wasn't, flattering to say or tasteful to say, like, nobody was checking for that book. But, it is what it is. Yeah, there were also comments about her saying I was making little jabs here and there. No, that wasn't happening. The only jabs that were made were when the craziness was going on, and I messaged her directly. Yeah, because like I said, after we sat down and had that conversation, we were all in cahoots. That's why it's very important to be mindful of the company you keep, because somebody can be looking at your situation like, okay, I got my kids and my baby daddy not here, so I'm about to go F with my homegirl too. That's the way I see it. Like, you have to be very mindful and selective of, what other people are dealing with, because other people don't want to see hurt people. So when somebody's hurting and they're dealing with their own trauma, they don't want to see their homegirl like, what? You going over there? You co-parenting? Like, yuck. Oh no. Like, you're better than her. Da 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 da. Like, let's kill this ish. Like, that's that messiness, and that's why it's kind of like unfortunate, because you could have took this opportunity to be a better friend, Octavia, and really exude the characteristics that you pretend to have, which you don't at all, because you've been the most vocal but said the least substance at all throughout this whole entire thing. Like, you've been the most vocal and haven't said anything that makes sense from the beginning. And like I said, this is not to go back and forth. This is just me taking analysis of what I saw and what we all saw. So I'm not making inferences from my own personal opinion. I'm talking about what was said in the Martin video, what we all saw, what we all heard. It was a lot of things said all for nothing, because if you are so mature and so this bossy chick and so this and so that, then I know bosses in real life, and Octavia, you're not one of them. I've been in rooms with millionaires. I just was on a panel and it was millionaire women in that room who have real men who like, if y'all knew Skittles in real life and knew what I know, and some of those other women who were in there, and I have foreign relationships with them now, and I know what I know, like, those are bosses. Those are the people who are bosses. Do you see them on the internet and they friends, homegirl business talking about, let's take down a baby mama and like, that's you don't even have that time to give to that. And that's obvious, that's not even the type of advice you would give to that friend if you are really a boss. And I'm not just talking about a boss as far as successful with your finances or anything like that. I'm talking about, like, bosses to me, like, let me say, a boss exudes a form of confidence that is cocky but still humble. A boss to me is someone who is a problem solver, not a problem maker. A boss is someone who is optimistic and not pessimistic. A boss is someone who doesn't have roaches in their products when they're sending them out, and decides, instead of talking about that problem and doing damage control for that problem, I'm going to get online and talk about a complete stranger who I don't know. I don't know what her sales are really like with her business. All I know is that I don't like her because she's with a man who I don't even know. Like, that's not boss like material to me. That's in my opinion. But a boss is someone who people reach out to and they look up to and they can learn something from. Having people subscribe to your business because y'all have one thing in common, that we don't like the same person, that's not a boss. That's not a way to be a millionaire. Getting money off of hate that's when they say all money is not good money. That's what they're talking about with that. And all that money that you're getting from the hate that people have for me, thank you is what you should be saying to me. That's it. That's it. It shouldn't be nothing else but thank you, because people hate you enough to want to support me, to make me feel better about where I am compared to you, when this is not a comparison. I'm not doing a charity event when it comes to Octavia. And I genuinely want all women, especially Black women, to win. So I don't feel as though it is necessary to spew out the type of negativity that she does for absolutely no reason whatsoever. And Octavia knows she's wrong for what she's doing. She has to grow up and get some more maturing, because real bosses, I promise you, if I put you in that room with the $1 million people with the millions in their pocket, and we start going back and forth about how you're making money and da da da, they're gonna look at you like you're boo-boo the mother loving fool if you say, I'm going to Lipstick Alley to get my support. Like, they're gonna look at you like you're crazy. Like, no real boss would ever be going there to get, that's not where their target audience is. So when you say boss and success, you got to remember that success did not come until you started spewing hate. You got to be careful when you're choosing sides about your actions and your energy, because that stuff comes back to you. So you may be making all this money now, but you don't know where that karmic energy is going to get you in the future. So you just got to be mindful. And if you want to continue to pour in to these dark places to get your support, then so be it. That's your choice. That's what you got to live with. And I know it probably feeds you right now, so it's kind of like the easier thing to do, but that luck will run out eventually, because that's not coming from a good place. And you're just kind of like, if I talk about this girl and I talk about her kids and I subscribe to this negative narrative about her and her children, I can get my products bought. I don't think God is sitting high and looking low, like that's the girl I want to let in up here. Like those are the types of things that a boss will be thinking about, like where their soul is feeding and pouring into in the world. So within this situation, I had to like take a few steps back to see, like all this negative energy is draining me so much that if I'm taking all of my energy to pour into and be all involved and invested with all the negative aspects of my life, my career, my relationship, my children, then where, like if I left the world tomorrow, where, like my soul has been left in all the negative aspects of the world, and it has not even been given to the positive things that really matter. I've been working my ass off these last few weeks, especially to do the work and to align myself with a purpose that matters, a purpose that benefits myself, a purpose that benefits my children, my family, and the people who watch me and support me. I don't want to give into this fantasy that you have to be a mean girl to win. You got to be a bully to win. Like you just got to make sense. And when those blessings start pouring in, you're going to feel confident and good about it because you did it for the right reasons. So Octavia, like I said, you don't got to F with me, but F with what I'm talking about, honey, because you can learn a lot about that when it comes to the rooms you're trying to get in the future. The Lipstick Alley is not holding $1 million events for you to go sit and be their queen at their table. If you're trying to get into these rooms with these real bosses and make some real money and make a real positive change in your life, you got to change your target audience and you got to change your target of mind. Your mental is like disintegrating because you're warping yourself into such toxicity that you don't even understand that you're like the biggest flex of toxic energy I've ever seen in my whole entire life. Like that whole time where you were speaking, I got goosebumps, and not for the right reasons, but because I felt I was going to melt my skin off by listening to how evil you were. And you can get caught in the hype, but you got to sometimes wake up and look around and read the room and say, I'm not the hype in this situation. I'm not. Because let's just try this out. Go on to your target audience and tell them you F with this live and you F with what I'm talking about, and you want to be a boss or bossier because you feel like you are a boss, and get into these rooms and make these changes and be a great mom and do this, do that. Go say those things and let's see what the dollar signs look like at that point. So then you have to check in with your moral compass and see what actually matters. And I want to stand, myself, I want to stand with integrity. I want to really show my daughters for real, how to be a free thinking, Black, successful woman. And I don't want them to follow in mommy's footsteps and seeing me down a path of destruction. So that was just, that to me was, it was really disheartening to hear, like, a person who doesn't know me at all in any capacity, to be such a hateful person. And yeah, so then we talked about winning and having a boy. Octavia talked about I wanted to win, so I had a revenge baby to win and have a boy. So once again, like I said, I was having, doing what I do in my relationship. And, I don't really have to explain that because I'm actually in a relationship. And it's not a tit for tat because a man doesn't make me. I make myself. I'm not valued by the status of a man. And it's flattering, but very disgusting for people to say, like, or Octavia, because we're talking about the video right now. Oh, he only wants her because she's her sugar mama. So it's kind of like when you put the credentials that I am as a person, as a whole being, and I'm not even saying compare it to your friend or your ex-friend or compare it to you. You don't got to compare it to nobody. But I'm just saying, if you put the credentials down for what they are, and I'm talking about how, and there was a video that I watched. I probably, after this live, I'll probably link it on my story. So if you're watching this and you just randomly see me link, I think I can try to link it. It was another girl's post. It was on Shade Room that was posted. I don't know if you guys saw it, but it was like a bigger plus size woman, and she's like with the fitness guy, and people are like, "Oh my gosh, how could he possibly be with her? It must be for the money, or he must be broke, or he must be this, or da da da." And she read the room so well. Like, I just loved everything about that. So it's kind of like you're looking like women pouring in all the time. Oh, but I'm thin. I'm the model body that you want. And it's kind of like when you subscribe to these colorist thoughts, Octavia, that my boyfriend should be with a light skinned curly haired woman with light eyes, because that's what beauty standards are. You have lost your mind, because once again, I've yet to see you come on not any live. Well, I don't even watch your live, so maybe you have, but to my knowledge, you haven't come on one live like in your natural. I do this every day. Every time I'm on live, because I'm not trying to make up and pretend for something that I'm not, because at my core, when my man is making sure that my belly is fed when I'm done doing what I need to do or want to do, then that's what really matters to me. I don't have to put on makeup for a man to cook for me, because his choice was to see me for what I am, and every flaw that I have on my skin, to my chin, to the shins, to my toes. I wish toes rhyme with all that, because that would have been fine, but it's not. But like, it, the value that you place within yourself, or that you all had so much conversations was about, like with like a man. It's like your value, it was lost to me, because it was kind of like you wanted to place my value based off of what a man did to me. My value, my accolades don't change if Jeremy cheats on me for the rest of my life, or whatever it may be. My values does not, it makes me not even crazy to stick around for that, but my values, my accolades does not change because of a man. A man does not dictate me. If you feel as though a man dictates your value because he's running home to you after leaving his woman, because you said, and I quote, because your friend told, but you felt like a man, if his wife is not doing everything that he needs her to do, then why would I not fill in? If that's what you want, or you feel the need to feel or do or think, that is okay. But don't put that off on other people. A lot of young people are watching this. A lot of women are watching this, and they're very fragile and vulnerable and insecure. And when you say things like, why would he want Keesha? He probably is using her for money. What would be the reason? What about Jeremy would make him need to use a woman for money? Because he's light skinned with curly hair? I'll wait. So for the brown beauties who are in the chat, or for the plus size women who are in the chat, or for the women who don't have as curly, loose curls and may have a coilier texture or whatever, or people who may have had skin issues or stretch marks, or may not be, surgically enhanced, but their regular Jenna Echo or Coil Ray bodies, or all these beautiful regular women, your everyday women that are not beautiful by society standards. When you say stuff like that, like, I really dissect that, because for my daughters, obviously they are on the lighter spectrum, but they're not praised for their beauty, for their complexion. They'll never tell anybody like I'm beautiful, because I'm like they would never say no craziness like that. And I'm going to make sure of that, because of women who do things like that. But when I watch the videos and I'm hearing he would not love her, give me one good reason as to why I would not be deemed lovable by another human being based off of my true accolades, because you don't know me as a person at all, but based off of just the resume of the things that are Googleable, like my businesses, my degrees, my and the things that you can see is my willingness to give, my compassion, my empathy, the fact that you were able to see me in a very low moment of my life, decide that it wasn't about me, and let's make this about the kids 100% and do the right thing. So those aren't the things that a man would find me lovable for. Instead, he would see me as, because I don't have the fattest ass, or because my skin isn't as light as yours, or because my eyes aren't hazel like yours, or because my hair does not, curl as loosely as yours, would mean that a man wouldn't be able to love me. See, those are the ignorant things that you have to work on, because you have built your beauty off of your image. And then when you actually sit down and look at yourself, I mean, this is only in my opinion, but you can't feel like just because you're light skinned that you're all that in a bag of chips. One, your attitude and everything else about you sucks ass. So that alone, like, any man who was to watch Martin's video and see that, any good man who would watch Martin's video, you would automatically be ripped off of a checklist immediately. They wouldn't, I promise you, not one man of substance will look at that video and say, that's a woman I want to marry. That's a woman that's a boss. That's a woman who got it going on. They wouldn't see that. They would see a disgusting human being and say, next. So at core, we have to work on core values and do better at our core, because what I saw was not becoming of you. And if that's who you are and how you want to live your life, then go on with your bad stuff, girl. Go on with your curly hair and your hazel eyes, and go on do what you do, girl. That ain't got nothing to do with me. I'm gonna keep on chugging how I'm chugging. But I think that we owe our supporters something more, to teach that the substance within self does not rely in the hands of a man. That's what we owe our supporters, the women who support us, to not think that our value lies in the man and the mistakes that a man will make, because humans will make mistakes anyways. Or, because cheating is kind of not a mistake, it's a choice, bad, very bad choice. But the bad choices that other people make, or even if you're in a same-sex relationship, your partner making bad choices to you does not take away your value to be loved. That's what you should be teaching, Miss Boss. The next thing, we're almost at the end, y'all. Oh yeah, then it got to the co-parenting thing. I won't speak on that. That's not my place. Then it got to some comments that he had across the screen. And a lot of those comments were part of the reasons why Jeremy kind of wanted to exit himself off of YouTube for a period of time, because it was kind of like, even like, I didn't even see half those comments before. I'm reading the comments, like, see, I mean, it's like I haven't seen the comments before, but I kind of like can expect, because I know how these trolls work, or negative people work. So it was kind of like just seeing some of the comments that were put across the screen and seeing Jeremy like defend me to the T, but people still would, to this day, he's never defended her. Like, every comment that was said negatively, like, was defense after defense after defense. And even after defense, they would come back and still say more things about me. And at that point, it's kind of like, you want somebody to continue to defend me until they don't have no time in the day to do anything other than defend me, because you want to just keep talking negatively. But it was kind of like, I appreciate that. I also appreciated Kia Lloyd comment, because she talked about when people were like, oh, well, she didn't have to talk about this, but and she so eloquently pointed out that his sister spoke about it, and everybody was in her inbox talking about what's this about. So I do appreciate that. Charlene also made a comment saying, he's telling his truth, she told her truth, so why is Keesha to blame? So thank you, Charlene, for that. Uptown Philly left a comment and said, Paris Harley needs all videos taken down because of bullying. So thank you, Uptown Philly, because we actually was able to make that happen and are pursuing things legally. And then also there was a comment by Paris that was made saying Jeremy clipped the video. Okay, so first things first, Jeremy would not even know how to clip a video that's already uploaded. Jeremy don't know how to do that. Jeremy did not clip a video, because Jeremy did not clip a video. And also another thing to that is, like, how is it fair that you guys feel like, oh, she's speaking her piece, she could say what she want to say, da da da. It's always, but no matter what's coming out her mouth, her friend's mouth, oh, let them have their moment. But whenever me or him speak something, if it's not in favor or what you guys want us to say, it's like da 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 da. He's such a da 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 da. She's such a da 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 da. But okay, but let them have their moment. This is their time. Like they deserve this moment. They sat back for so long. They didn't sit back for no long, because it was just not that long before that comment was made that they were just doing a do. So what I'm trying to say with that part of the video was, I just feel as though it was a lot of bias going on, like biased commentary going on, and a lot of negative things that were said about me. But like I said, Charlene made it very clear, like, he's telling his truth about what he feels happened. She told her truth. The mom told her truth. Why y'all bringing Keesha into this? Like, I didn't have not a thing to do with any of all that. So that was just that. Then we at the end, y'all. So then it fast forward to Octavia standing 10 toes down about her reckoning. She was literally 10 toes down about their reckoning, y'all. And when I tell you, immediately when he was playing those clips of her saying, I'm 10 toes down, reckoning, I'm the mastermind behind this. I came up with the title. I came up with the wardrobe. Immediately, I was like, is this girl a witch? And he started playing like that little witchy like music. I was on the floor laughing, because what in the right, boss? And this is what you're doing in your free time, is boss? Like, constructing a reckoning video? Do you not know what a reckoning is? And you want to say that I deserve a reckoning because I talked ish about your friend who, like I said, we all know what happened with the situation. What did you expect from me? What did you expect? Y'all, Octavia's crazy to me. But yeah, like Martin said, the reckoning was malicious. The whole Keesha was obsessed and control. We already talked about that earlier. And then I remember her saying stuff about like their little game that they were playing. Like, I gave into their little game that they were playing. No, ma'am. I just want to make this clear also with that point, because I don't really want to talk about her, but I will say this. I wasn't playing no game with none of this situation. This was not a game to me. I don't know why you thought this was a game, but maybe that's why the moves that you made were made. I never thought this was a game up until this moment. Like, this is not a tit for tat. This is not a who gets Jeremy. Like, this is not a competition. Like, this is not a game. Like, we have whole children whose lives are depending on our choices and our actions. And I've always wanted to make the best choices and actions. Like I said, have I always done the most respectful thing? Absolutely no. But given the circumstances, it makes sense. Like, no one is gonna hold a nail to my chest because I talk ish about someone who did some, like I said. And it's not even just the fact of I'm not even talking about pre-baby. I'm talking about post-conversation. Every time I say something about this situation, I'm not even talking about pre-baby, because we already dealt with that and we sat down as women and we hashed that out. I'm talking about when Martin played the receipts of you sitting down with me saying that we're going to do this and we're going to align ourselves positively. And then a week later, you were sending naked, inappropriate videos and pictures and telling my boyfriend to put face app on and don't let me find out about this and da 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 da. Like, you were willing to play the game as long as the game, you were winning at the game you wanted to play. So that's the game. I wasn't playing the game. That wasn't funny for me. That wasn't fun. I wasn't like foul on the play. It was not a game. Like, it's really sad to think about how all this spiraled out of control, because, things could have went differently. Like I said, the things that Brittany said, I did not agree with. And because of that, our friendship suffered. So stop with the whole, oh, she gave her friend that information. If I gave my friend that information, we would still be friends to this day. I would have just been like, oh, like, no. I was completely startled and shocked and appalled when that commentary came out. But you're not going to hold me accountable for what somebody else says, just like you're not going to hold me accountable for what Jeremy says or says about you. And I'm talking to anybody who's watching this video. Like, everybody in this situation is accountable for what they did. I can't hold anybody else accountable for things that they did not do. So stop holding me accountable for what Jeremy does or what anybody else does or says, because that's just not cool. It's not cool. It's not fair to me. Because like I said to her, like, your friend is calling my child dumb and slow, and she's like, but that's not me. Okay, well then when my friend says what she says, don't say, well, your friend or da 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 or Jeremy da da da. Then all of a sudden Keisha's scripting everybody to love her. Why, once again, why would I need to script anybody to love me and be a friend to me? And I've been an excellent friend, like, to them, or love them unconditionally, or we have a mutual sense of love. Like I said, Octavia wanted to hype up, oh, I just know so much about this, when you failed to announce that you only had been around them 2 times. Girl, we've been together for 5 years. Do you really think that you know some side of an inside scoop about something? Because if you was around us, like what our friends get to see, you would see something completely different. Like, if you like really want to know, Jeremy's on me like white on rice at all times of the day. Then what would the narrative be? But I don't have to show those things to prove a point. Like, I don't. Like I said, this is not, I still have to have integrity at the end of the day. And I still have to display certain things about myself or share certain things about my relationship at the end of the day. I don't have to prove a man's love for me to win over the hearts of America, for me to be a successful boss. I don't have to prove a man loves me to be successful. You can't diminish my hair company because my man cheated on me. That's him. That's his flaw. That's his problem. That doesn't take away from my 8 years successful business of having a hair company because one person complained when they didn't read and abide by my policy. Period. Like, things like that happen. It did. Oh, Jeremy got these girls up. Yeah, they're playing with them. But probably is my mom. Let y'all tell it, because he's never here with my kids. He's never, it's just the whack stuff that they like to say. But yeah, there was definitely no game that I was playing with the situation. And had I had things, if I had the control that they said I had to control, we would all be one happy big kumbaya and holding ourselves accountable for the bond, or for the things that we said we would, like prioritizing the children. It wouldn't be no secretive behind the scenes, I'm gonna talk to you any kind of way because I want to, and I don't care about Keisha's feelings, but then I'm going on the internet and talk about her like a dog, even though I'm doing things like Martin said. Like, there was just absolutely no accountability on that end. It was like, oh yeah, I played my part, I'm sorry. But no, it was deeper than that. You know damn well, like, the trolls hyped up a lot of stuff. So I will say that the trolls hyped up a lot of stuff. Octavia / hashtag troll hyped up a lot of stuff. Paris then really made it worse because of that clear obsession with me. Like, there was a lot of, outside figures coming in to her ear, trying to make things look like it wasn't. But the reality situation is we were both, to hurt individuals by a situation and forced to now raise our children regardless of that hurt. And at that point, it was up to all 3 parties to decide to really put forth the effort to prioritize our kids. And it is going to be hard to prioritize all kids when we have our own feelings, but I was willing to do that, and I was doing my part. And that's all I can say about that. Yeah, and Martin kept saying no receipts, no receipts. Everything that was said in the reckoning, a lot of stuff was said, no receipts, no receipts, no receipts. Contradiction. And I want to say thank you once again to Martin for playing the clips of Octavia speaking ill. Not that I want to hear someone bad mouthing my children, but the internet is forever. And since you wanted to gloat about my children and their mental issues and lack thereof because they don't have any, that's now going to be on the internet forever to be a permanent stamp of you as a businesswoman. That this business owner talks about children and berates children and has no class, because who does that? So thank you, Martin, for that. Thank you, Martin, for clearing up the fact that the messages that were exchanged had nothing to do with her child, because they like to say a lot of, remember when she was in the reckoning and she was like, yeah, we talked and look at all these messages, look at all these messages, look at all these messages. Yeah, none of it had to do with her child specifically. they were all about the videos and the stuff that was going back and forth on the internet. Because like I said, not one time did a mature conversation, everybody wanted me to be such a mature party, but not one time was a mature conversation had to say, hey, let's all sit down and talk. I know she wanted Jeremy to orchestrate that whole let's sit down and get you all three in accord, but sometimes as people we have to start taking accountability for, like, how could that possibly happen when I know these are the types of things that I'm doing and saying behind the scenes. Like, how can I expect someone to just want to champion me and rally in victory over this co-parenting situation when I'm not being in the most respectful taste to their relationship. And that's just the point blank period. Don't point fingers and say, well, he wasn't either and he's the one who owed you loyalty. No, that's not what it is. That's not the way I see it. That's not what the way a lot of people see it. Luckily, you are dealing with a mature individual, because a lot of women could have handled that situation completely left. And I've maintained that maturity up until last October, when I said, okay, you have to watch your son. Of course he can come over. I would never say no, he can't come over. Okay, I just had my surgery, so we can come over. Let's get his schedule together. Let's get all this stuff together. We already had what we gotta do, but she came at you last minute, but this is your son. So he's always welcome, even if she asked you the second before she drove up. Hey, can you get your son? That's your son. You can get your son. If I decided to stay with you, I have to take accountability. So that's why another part of my accountability is we all knew what bed we decided to sleep in or lay or make. When you make your bed, you have to own that bed that you made. The bed that I had to own was, I said, I forgive you for this situation. That does not mean I now can say, but I'm not comfortable with you having a child outside this relationship. So when she asked for him to come over, you need to go through me. Or it can only be when you're not, or don't ever leave me alone with that child, or da 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 this, or he's not allowed to come to anything with, like, I had to accept my bed for how it was made. And that was not just accepting the child, but finding a way to accept the mother that came with the child. And I was willing to do that because that's the bed I chose to make. I could have easily walked away and said, I don't like these circumstances. And especially when I start seeing that internet shit, I could have been like, yeah, this is not for me. I'm going to leave you and her and the baby where y'all stay, and y'all figure it out, and I'm going to move on, and we'll co-parent from a distance. But ultimately speaking, we still would have had to cross paths because our kids still share blood. And who are we to say that they can't be raised with one another because of ignorant behaviors of parents and immature actions? Because it all comes down to maturity. If you're not mature enough to say, I made this child not by myself, then if I'm going to be boisterous enough to come on the internet and complain about, financially how the child is not being taken care of, allegedly, then you need to be that adamant about him being physically present, because every child, not just men, but every little girl, every little boy needs both parents in their life, however that is, even if it's not both parents inside the household. And if that's the bed that you made by having the baby, then you don't get to say, but I don't like the fact that you stayed with her. So now I'm going to be bitter and not like her. So now the baby can't see you because I never did anything. And if you felt as a mother that happened and you knew that this was the bed that you made, then we should have still sat down as a group and worked that ish out outside of Octavia, outside of the internet, outside of Paris bickering and dictating. And don't bring up D, because remember, D came after the reckoning. I'm talking about when all that damage was done. D came in to like try to pick up the pieces. So don't bring up, oh, well, you got to tell D too. No, I'm talking about all those 20 plus videos that were made, all those interviews, all that otherness, the reckoning, the brand deals, all of that was done prior to D coming to the internet. That's what I'm talking about. When things were going, or when you were uncomfortable with any aspect of the situation, that the bed that you made, then you should have came to the two parties involved, me and Jeremy, and said, let's have a grown folk conversation. I don't need to wait for you to initiate it. I don't need to wait for you to initiate it. I'm a grown adult. This is my child, and let's sit down and chat. And I would have been more than willing, and I know he would have been more than willing to accommodate that. But when there's a lot of blocking and deceitfulness and lying and behind the scenes of, the stuff that was still going on behind the scenes, every single time you got a chance, it was, like, I gotta just still have my way to do whatever, then it's kind of like that kind of dampens the situation. And also I could have said, well, actually I did actually say that we can have a conversation. So I can't say I could have did it because I did do it and that conversation didn't happen. I didn't wait for Jeremy to say like, let's all three of us sit down. I told her myself, like, let's all sit down. And she cussed me out. So that was that. I couldn't do nothing after that. And I was going to beg and plead for that. But this whole situation, if anybody's watching this, once again, I want a lot of people to take a lot from this, from my situation, from looking at it. I want people to learn accountability, and I want people to understand, like, you can't make two-way street decisions for your life. Like, if you make a decision for your life and you know the variables and the outcomes that come with that decision, you have to deal with those decisions in its entirety. You don't get to say, what, like for myself, I can't say I want to be with Jeremy, but I'm not going to accept his child because it was had in the middle of our relationship. So I'm gonna be with you, but I don't want that. So now I'm gonna make that a pure hell for you. I can't do that. That's not right. And I did not do that ever in this situation. I would never do that. Like I said, I want the best for all kids involved. I'm not the back and forth on the internet type. I know a lot of people feel like this situation is all drawn out, but I feel like this is still happening every day for a lot of people. And some people are learning. People reach out to me every day still like, oh my gosh, Keesha, you went through this. Now I'm embarrassed. This just happened to me. What do I do? What do I do? What do I do? So I want people to really digest this situation. Obviously, your life is not for the internet. So that is one of the biggest victories for this. But at the end of the day, watch who you tell your business to. Watch who you're getting advice and opinions about your situation from. If the people you're getting advice from situations are not living a righteous life, are preaching to the choir about what you should be doing, and they're not living it, they're not like being example and exemplary of those same behaviors, those aren't types of people that you should be getting advice from. And just be mindful. Temporary emotions can have lasting damage and effects if you just think purely with emotions. And I think a lot of us, all parties involved, well, I know I can't speak for nobody else, but I know I have moments where I can reflect and say, that was too far, this was wrong. And if I was willing to do these things, then as a human being, I can admit my wrongdoings. So this is also part of me saying I'm able to look at the series and not say, oh, wow, this is a lot. I can say, this was a wrongdoing. This could have been done a little differently, and take full ownership for my part that I played without saying, but you did it too, or you did this. Like, solely look and reflect on myself so that I can become a better human being, and that I can learn from those mistakes not to make them anymore. There's a lot of things that I've learned from this situation that I will 100% continue to work on with my counselor, and with the company that I keep. And I really want to exude positive energy for my supporters and for anybody who just may be a straggler just watching my platform. I'm a human being, so I will not say that I will never make a mistake again, but the mistakes that I made before, I'm not going to make those mistakes anymore. I'm going to continue to grow, and I'm going to continue to understand the anatomy of human beings and our minds and our psyches, and just be cognizant of that energy. And that's all I want for myself. I have 3 beautiful daughters, the best kids I could have ever imagined in this world. Like, I don't want any other kids but them. Like, they're perfect in their whole entirety. I'm in love with them. They're in love with me. They love their father. Their father loves them. And it has been a trying last 2 years dealing with this situation. And like I said, I'm sorry for the people who like this is like, oh, y'all, this is a snore fest. And I appreciate the people who have supported me and who have not turned their back on me because of seeing my faults or seeing my flaws or seeing my mistakes. You just see me as a human being. And like I said, I can only take accountability for my parts, or my part that I played. And I see things for what they were. Watching the series, or just even the everyday waking up, just observing and analyzing like some of my choices. And overall, I know for a fact I'm a great person and I have great intentions, and my intentions are pure with all children involved. I wish nothing negative with any of the kids involved. But my focus, my main important focus, of course, are my three and protecting my children, protecting myself. But I will always have a hand and heart extended to their brother, because that is their brother, and I would never stand in the way of anything like that, because that is just not that's not the type of woman I am. That's not the type of person I am. I have done everything that I possibly could, you guys, with with trying to ensure a positive relationship. I truly have. But like I said to you guys before, the negativity and a lot of the toxic stuff that goes on behind the scenes is some of the things that I just don't align with, and I cannot continue to force something that's just not working. So I have to wash my hands with certain things. And then, when the time is right, if the time ever comes to be right, then we can introduce a different type of dynamic. But for now, I want to continue to grow. I want to continue to just focus on me. I have so many other things to worry about. And I just genuinely thank y'all for y'all support. And yeah, that was that pretty much. But yeah, I think Martin, this is 11:11. So I guess this is a good note that this is where the live should end. I appreciate y'all so much. And I love y'all. And I'll see y'all tomorrow. Bye.